So, this coming Tuesday, the 8th of August at 9:30 a.m., the Constitutional Court, the highest court in the land, will sit to hear Appeal Savior Kasukuwere as he fights on to remain on the ballot. But pane vamwe vakuvhunza kuti saka Kasukuwere zvaari kurambidzwa kucontesta, does that mean that he is more popular than Chamisa? Well, of course not. Far from it. Chamisa is more popular than ED and Tyson put together. So what then? Kana Chamisa are more popular than Kasukuwere? Why then is Kasukuwere being barred from running? Why the relentless concerted effort in making sure that Kasukuwere does not run? Well, of course, I've answered this question before, but nasi ndirakuita go deeper. Allow me nditendereyo kuti ndimbokudzorera kumashure zvishoma with the intention of helping you understand what's at play here. Nasi ndirakuita react to General Chiwenga's presser, which was a precursor of the 2017 coup. Let's play on.
It is with humility and a heavy heart that we come before you to pronounce the indisputable reality that there is instability in ZANU-PF today, and as a result, anxiety in the country at large. It is pertinent to restate that the Zimbabwe Defense Forces remain the major stockholder in respect to the gains of the liberation struggle. And when these are threatened, we are obliged to take corrective measures.
The Zimbabwe Defense Forces remain the major stakeholder in respect to the gains of the liberation struggle, and when these are threatened, we are obliged to step in. These are the very words of the general. Perhaps the question that one might ask, ndekuti gains of the liberation struggle acho ndeapi pama factional fights is ZANU-PF. This will become clearer as we play on.
It is saddening to see our revolution being hijacked by agents of our erstwhile enemies. The formation of Floris, the Nari Badza rebellion, the Baning Story rebellion, soon after the death of Comrade Tepo, the Vashandi 1 and 2, as well as the rebellion that led to the death of the late Zipra commander, Comrade Alfred Nikita Mangena. Among others are cases in point. Therefore, the current shenanigans by people who do not share the same liberation history of ZANU-PF party are not a surprise to us. But what is significant to us and the generality of Zimbabweans is to remember that all these rebellions were diffused by the military. But at no point did the military usurp power.
Kana wanga uri pay attention to my recent videos, you will have noticed kuti I've been consistently saying that the gun determines who becomes leader in ZANU-PF. If the politics fails, the gun intervenes to defuse the situation. This is what the general is talking about. The general here was giving us a whole history of how the military intervenes in political processes. ZANU-PF, starting from the Nari rebellion to the Mnangagwa declaration, which diffused what he called the Ndabaningi Stole rebellion. Interestingly, every politician who goes against the military or what the military wants is called a rebel. Every faction of ZANU-PF that goes against the military is called a cabal. The G40 cabal.
We must remind those behind the current treacherous shenanigans that when it comes to matters of protecting our revolution, the military will not hesitate to step in.
What you feel, Rich? What you feel? Anzi, we must remind you that when it comes to matters of protecting our revolution, we will not hesitate to step in. Think about it for a moment. Do you now realize what I've been on about for the past 1 month? You must control the gun. In fact, zvinoitika muzanu zvinodeterminwa negun nepfuti. Kana pfuti yati ngati dai izvozvo ndizvo zvinoitwa. Kana pfuti ikati no, hapana chinoitika. Do you now realize? Do you now see it? The writing was always on the wall.
ZANU-PF's standing political virtues are a product of faithful adherence to the founding values, decorum, discipline, and revolutionary protocol in the ruling party. Party orders were strictly adhered to, and whatever differences existed, they were resolved amicably and in the ruling party's closet.
Party squabbles and whatever differences that existed, they were always resolved mucloset yezanu. Military ndoziva kuti gore rakati kwakanetsana vana ningi nezvakati zvikarozovwa this way. They know everything that happens in ZANU-PF at any time. Why? Chini chavo. The gun determines what happens in Zimbabwe, in ZANU-PF. We are the army, we are the police, we are the central intelligence, we are the prison service. We determine who minds, anoinda ku toilet, anoinda ku mabishu.
Unfortunately, since the turn of 2015, ZANU-PF's traditional protocol and procedures have changed with a lot of gossiping, backbiting, and public chastisement being the order of the day. Indeed, the party is undoing its legacy built over the years.
Am I the only one? But I feel like General Chiwenga vachiri commander he had this face of a soldier. I mean, he was just intimidating. I mean, take a look at these pictures, guys. Look at how he looks like a proper general. Look at him. General. But nowadays it feels like General Chiwenga, if you look at him, face yavo aishachikisa sema chikisira yaita vachiri general. Is this just me? I don't know. I feel like when he became vice president, I mean, pamuvakapiwa ma lessons reku take a civilian face vachiri general face yavo yaichikisa shem.
Section 212 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe mandates the Zimbabwe Defense Forces to protect Zimbabwe, its people, its national security and interest, and its territorial integrity, and to uphold this Constitution.
Waona makandiro aita Constitution pass na General Bay. Regawone foot. Makandiro aitwa Constitution pass so general vachiri soldier angane face soldiers sure. Anyway, I want you guys to see the hypocrisy of the military here, for you can understand kuti chinichi changa chakarongwa kubva kudhara. The military court section 212 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, taura the function of the defense forces, right? But he ignores section 213. Inonyatsotaura zvakanaka kuti gativhe tatoiverenga so that handitaure zviri kubva musoro mangu. I want you to argue with facts, not with me. When you argue, just argue with facts. Now, section 213, remember, General Vakota section 212, regatiiverenge, for the benefit of those who might say chichi. So section 212 yakotwa na general inoti the function of the defense forces is to protect Zimbabwe, its people, its national security and territorial integrity, and to uphold this constitution. Regaiti chiverenga yavakasiya deliberately kuverenga because they knew kuti yaizovapiringisha. Now section 213 hanzi, subject to this constitution, only the president, who is the head of state and government and commander-in-chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, only the president has the powers to authorize the deployment of the defense forces, or has power to determine the operational use of the defense forces. And with the authority of the president, the defense forces may be deployed in Zimbabwe, A, in defense of Zimbabwe, B, in support of the police service and the maintenance of public order, or C, in support of the police service and other civilian authorities in the event of an emergency. But the key word is, the only person authorized by this constitution to deploy the army is the president. The army does not have powers to deploy itself. Yet muna 2017 army yakazvideploya. Hapana mu constitution panotaura kuti army inogona kungomuka yakati tafunga kuita operation restore order. The constitution does not allow it. Only the president has the powers to say army chiendai munoita operation restore legacy. In any event, even president vacho vane masimba ekudeploya army havangoideploya kamadiro aJorgina. Zvinotori nemaprocedure azvo. Regati maverenge maprocedure acho. Section 214 of the constitution hanzi political accountability for deployment of defense forces. Hanzi, when the defense forces are deployed, A, in Zimbabwe to assist the maintenance of public order or outside Zimbabwe, the president must cause parliament to be informed promptly, in appropriate detail, promptly, in other words, without wasting time. Nekuchimbidza. President vanofanirwa kukoza parliament to be informed. In other words, president vanofanirwa kuudza parliament. But all of this did not happen. The president did not deploy the army. Yet the army maintains that was not a coup. Remember, pandatanga video ndati G40 yaive ne blessing yava Mugabe, Lacoste yaive ne blessing ye army. So, when Lacoste was outmaneuvered politically, the army stepped in to defuse the situation, just like what General Chiwenga had threatened. Zvekuti restore legacy ratongovawo drama, otherwise that coup was just an escalation of the ZANU-PF factional fights. Even Patrick Chinamasa confirmed this way before Robert Mugabe had resigned. The army just stepped in to help its preferred candidate, Emmerson Mnangagwa. You see, ED is not good with elections. He was beaten twice by Blessing Chepundo in 2000 and 2005 in Kwekwe there. In 2004, when he tried to run for VP, he was outplayed by General Solomon Mjuru's faction, which in the end got Joyce Mujuru to become the first female VP of ZANU-PF and indeed Zimbabwe. In fact, he actually needed the death of Solomon Mujuru and the political help of Grace Mugabe to get rid of Joyce Mujuru, who at the time enjoyed the support of almost all the 10 provinces of ZANU-PF. If you think, Kuti, this looks bad, well, it gets worse. You see, just to further prove to you, Kuti, ED is not good with elections. Well, it took the illegal amendment of the ZANU-PF constitution by the Politburo, which removed the need for VPs to be elected in ZANU-PF. As a result of this, ED was appointed instead of getting elected as VP. He benefited from the illegal amendment of the ZANU-PF constitution. Even for him to become president of ZANU-PF, it took the intervention of the army. The G40 had completely outmaneuvered him politically. Akadgiwa politically, and he responded coup d'etatically using the military. Because that is the only game that he's good at, you see. The use of brute force via the gun, that is the game that President ED is very good at. And even in the 2018 harmonized elections, it took the Constitutional Court to declare him as the winner. ED is not good with elections. He has never been. He has always been politically outsmarted by his opponents. He has Robert Mugabe, the military and the judiciary to thank for his long stay in power. You see, Mugabe havanambobvira varambidza ma political opponents to contest him in a general election. Of course, he was a dictator, but in all his dictatorial tendencies, Robert Mugabe never barred his opponents from contesting him. Only ED. Well, you see, Robert Mugabe was charming and charismatic and definitely electable. But ED is the antithesis of charisma. You see, this election is 4 demographics or constituencies. Number 1, the traditional ZANU support base. Number 2, the traditional opposition support base. Number 3, the undecided voters who are not sure yet who to vote for. Number 4, the virgin voters who are voting for the first time. For Nelson Chamisa to win this election, he has to secure his traditional support base and then build on it by convincing the undecided voters and the virgin voters. The same applies for ED. But unfortunately for ED now, Kasukuwere is coming not primarily for the undecided voter or the virgin voter. Kasukuwere is coming for the traditional support base of ZANU-PF upon which ED should be building on. Tyson is not coming for the support base of the opposition. Chamisa already has that in the bag. Arikuvinga foundation ye ZANU. Kasukuwere ndipongwe arikudya mbambaira dze ZANU, and that is why they won't allow him to run. This is not about Tyson being more popular than Chamisa. Of course he is not. What we are witnessing here is just a continuation of the ZANU-PF factional fights. There are two things at play here. ED is unforgiving. Remember kuti Kasukuwere is the one who led the expulsion process ya ED. Do you remember that famous rally when Kasukuwere chanted, "Pasina Emerson Boda Jamba Mnangagwa, Pasina Emerson Boda Jamba Mnangagwa"? ED hasn't forgiven him for all that. But most importantly, ED doesn't have faith in the structures of ZANU-PF. And that is what's making ED shake and ZANU-PF quake. Kasukuwere wants to kwekwe ED. You see, Kasukuwere arikuvinga foundation ye ZANU, traditional support base. Kasukuwere ndipongwe arikudya mbambaira dze ZANU. Ndosaka ED varikukwata. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Please like and share. Thank you for watching.